It's 2000 hours Eastern.
Yep, I hear the bell ringing. Shabbat
Okay.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight.
Greetings from the Great White North up here.
Yeah.
It's been quite a week with the snow, but some of y'all who don't normally get snow are getting snow. I heard that too.
Yeah.
Like in Texas and Louisiana had it like a week ago, and just really strange weather that we're
Flooding
having.
and stuff, yeah.
Well, we're glad to see you all here,
Okay.
and we're going to start with our candle lighting. Okay. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav tzivanu l'adli shel Shabbat. That was close. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Good thing you have the blowtorch.
Yeah, so blowtorch, it really helped. I got wax all over me now.
Yeah.
So now we're going to say the Kaddish, the blessing over the bread and the wine. And Dave is going to be our prop here. Demonstrating that how it's done. What are you doing?
Just waiting for you.
Oh, waiting for me.
Yeah.
Usually you start before me. Okay.
No.
Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Blessed are you, Yehovah our God, ruler of the universe, who brings forth bread from. And so that's always followed by the blessing over the wine. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam bori pri hagafen. Blessed are you, Yehovah our God, ruler of the universe, who created the vine. And tonight we're babies, we're doggy sitting, and so if I disappear, or if you hear some loud, unusual sounds, we're tending to some extra animals here tonight. But it's all good. It's a Sabbath, and this is our family, and everyone is welcome, even the critters.
Yeah. Well, we like to go through the Shema and the Sabbath commandment. So we'll start with that. Hear, O Israel, Elohim our Elohim, Elohim is one, and you shall love Elohim your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, very exceedingly. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be upon your heart and taught incisively to your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house and as you walk along the way, when you lie down and when you rise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they will be as bands between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorframes of your house and your gates, because Elohim made a covenant with you in Horeb on the day.
Thank you. Very nicely.
It's the Sabbath commandment. We always like to welcome the Sabbath and remind it. And I think a lot of us have spoken about this before, but it's an unusual commandment in terms of the religions of the world. You must rest on one day and think about it. Sanctify the seventh day, and you shall cease on it, because in 6 days I made the heavens and the earth, and all that is in them, and I ceased on the seventh day. Therefore you shall also cease, you and your animal, and all that is yours. I am Elohim, your Elohim.
Okay, so we got a message in here from a couple people saying the audio is messed up, can only get a word or two at a time.
Oh, okay.
So if y'all want to hold on there, we're going to check it out and
Well,
see.
let me see. How's that sounding now?
Does it change, everyone? Does it sound a little bit better?
Sounding any better?
Give us a thumbs up. Audio is not the best.
Lots of background hissing. Oh, it's worse. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I'll just go out and come right back in. I hate to do that. Is that going to screw us up, Seth? Seth said something.
Okay, goodbye, True.
Maybe restart. So yeah, okay.
Okay, try again later. If we're gonna fix that. Okay.
Yeah.
Karen says better. So
Maybe restart Discord. So I'm going to just restart it. I hope I don't updated Discord this morning, and then it just wanted to update it again.
Had to
So
update the updates.
yeah. All right. So a lot of things going on. Let's go with the first thing. Brother Ross is not doing well. He's very ill, and so I ask that you pray for him. He's really going to try to do his work tomorrow, and so that is really good. Oh, people still, I can't hear anything at all. Oh, that's odd. Let me see. I have my microphone on. Check.
Did you mute it?
Now I can hear Dave. All right.
Okay, great.
I don't know. Technology.
The joys.
So anyways, Ross is not doing well, and if you want to type that in there.
Yeah, keep him in
your prayers, and hopefully he'll be broadcasting tomorrow. But if he's not, you know that, he's been sick for days like we were, and some of you all.
Yeah, there's a bad flu going around, plus a zillion other kind of viruses and things like that.
We also are going to be getting Ralph on, not tonight, and so this is his new book, In the Footsteps of Time. Excuse me. And no, he is here. Well, let's get him here to talk.
Hey, awesome.
My mic sensitivity is too high. Let me see.
I'm going to be babysitting this dog, honey.
Yeah. Let me just look at voice and video. Output volume, input volume. I don't know. Ralph, you up there yet? I don't see you, Ralph.
Okay, well, Ralph gets on. I want to introduce Max to everyone.
Yeah, there's Max.
Max is the cause of all our technical difficulties tonight. He's just so naughty.
Yeah. So, Ralph,
He's so naughty.
I thought I got you on there. I turned the sensitivity down. East Alabama. All right. I don't know.
Our technical difficulties. He's just so.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you. Why? What are you pointing at?
I thought I got you on there. I turned it sensitivity.
I don't think you can see me, but I'm hopeful you can
East
hear me.
Alabama. Yeah. I don't know.
Technical difficulties. He's just so.
Can you hear me now?
That off.
We can hear.
Something's going on with the with your. I thought I got you on
Exactly. I'm hearing you twice. There's an overlay
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah. I don't know.
Technical difficulties. He's just so.
Can you hear me now?
There's a woman speaking.
With your. That's you. You want to maybe turn down your volume a little bit on your speaker, Rob? Is that any better?
No. Well, it's not bothersome to me if it's not a problem for the listeners, David.
It's hard to hear. Maybe turn down.
Can you hear me?
Volume a little bit on your speaker, Rob? Is that any better? Yeah, we got some feedback there, Ralph.
It's not bothersome to me if it's not a problem for the listeners, David.
It's hard to hear. Maybe turn down.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We got some feedback there, Ralph.
Well, if you're not picking me up, I can. It's not bothersome to me if it's not a problem for the listeners, David.
I don't know what's going on there.
I think you should.
Well,
We can come back. It's too much for us to listen to, Ralph.
Ralph, we want you back when you can be heard.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
It's the YouTube demons. All right. Okay, thank you, Ralph. It's us over and over again. I apologize to all y'all.
To all y'all.
To a lot of technical difficulties tonight. Hopefully you can hear me now. Is everyone good with hearing me and Patty? Yes. Okay, good. Great. All right. So it was quite a week for us. Probably got 3.5 feet of snow here, and I was traveling around the country. I met some interesting people this week. I got on the plane in Detroit and was going to Washington, D.C., and I sat next to Phil Heath, 7-time Mr. Olympia, and I witnessed to the man about the Hebrew Bible. It was quite interesting. So look up Phil Heath. We're friends now on Instagram and stuff like that. I also met Charlie Bolden. So if you get a chance, look up Charlie Bolden. He was the first African American to run NASA and a general in the Marine Corps. And I had dinner with him, and it was really, really bizarre sitting next to someone that has that much, history wrapped around him, going into space, running NASA, being a Naval Academy grad. It was really good stuff. Okay. It was really, really good. Okay, so just some oddball things in history. Around 362 of the Common Era of this week, Julian the Apostate issues the decree allowing Jews to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. I bet you didn't know this happened. And Julian, a pagan Roman emperor, sought to weaken Christianity's influence by restoring Jewish worship. However, there were mysterious fires and earthquakes reported, and it prevented the project from being completed.
No, I never heard this one. That's interesting.
Yeah, so 362. They tried building the temple again, and maybe it wasn't God's time. And of course, there are a lot of traditions that on February 21st or so, 1431 BCE, traditional day, Moses is believed to have received the Ten Commandments on Mount Sinai. That's it, Jewish thinking.
Yeah, but those are two very important events that took place, so very worth mentioning.
Right. So now, not that we're trying to judge you, but Patty's gonna be.
Well, this word, the Hebrew word of the week is mishpat, which means judgment. Last week we talked about Shevat, which is from the same root. And that was the verb form of judging. This is the actual judgment, pronounced mishpat, and it's a noun. The definition is judgment, justice, ordinance, law, decision. And it's going to be in our Torah portion tomorrow. It really is in reference to a legal decision, ruling, or process of establishing justice. And in the Hebrew Bible, it has to do with legal proceedings, divine justice, social fairness, righteousness, fairness, and the application of law in a just manner. So tomorrow in our Torah portion, we're going to be, we have an example of the use of this word in Exodus 21:1. These are the ordinances, or mishpatim, which is a plural form of the word, that you are to set before them, Exodus 21. And that is going to be tomorrow's Torah portion, and Ross's class is called Deuteronomy versus Exodus after Horeb's Day of Assembly. And we're going to be talking a lot about...
hopefully Ross will be good enough to do it.
There, but this Torah portion has to do with laws, dealing with servants, foreigners, loans, festivals, and things like that. So, mishpat, that's our word for the day.
Okay. Now we're looking to get JJ up here. He's gonna, if he's here, JJ, we're gonna read Proverbs chapter 12.
JJ's got a good reading voice. I'm excited.
Yeah, there he is. I invited him to speak. It says here. Yeah, a couple of cigars. I'm good though. I just Ross isn't. Yeah, JJ didn't come up for some reason. I said let you in.
Maybe he's
Today's-
having a difficulty.
No, it has a hand. He's got the hand up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Open it. There he is.
All right, JJ, take it away.
Yeah. Well.
Well, Susie lets you in.
Yeah. You're still muted, JJ. Don't know if I can.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of monsters in there, bugs in the machine.
Yeah, the gremlins are they're out and about tonight, huh?
Yeah.
Gremlins are out and about.
And I know that you know this. The original bugs were literally bugs in the back of the ENIAC computer. The bugs that floated out the tubes and things, you know.
Oh my God.
But anyway, yeah, it's a real name. It's not just or some. They actually found bugs in the back. This is in the 40s.
Are viruses really viruses?
Viruses? No.
No.
Viruses.
It was literally a moth, I think.
Yeah, moth.
Oh my God.
With Grace Hopper, back in the day.
The Grace Hopper.
Coined the term.
Yeah, so there's a bug in the machine. Viruses are just because they act like viruses. They get in and
like viruses.
they're horrible.
Yeah.
Which is what I had for 2 weeks. All right, JJ, Proverbs chapter 12.
Proverbs chapter 12. Whoso loveth correction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. A good man shall obtain favor of Jehovah, but a man of wicked devices he will condemn. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous shall be moved. A worthy woman is the crown of her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones.
Well, that's not a good wife.
The thoughts of the righteous are just, but the counsels of the wicked are deceit. The words of the wicked are of lying in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. The wicked are overthrown and are not, but the house of the righteous shall stand. A man shall be commended according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. Better is he that is lightly esteemed and hath servant than he that honoreth himself and lacketh bread. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons is void of understanding. The wicked desireth the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yieldeth fruit. In the transgression of the lips is a snare to the evil man, but the righteous shall come out of trouble. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the doings of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him.
Amen.
Nicely done, JJ. Thank you so much.
And
Okay, I'm going to continue on here and then we're going to discuss it afterwards. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that is wise hearkens unto counsel. A fool's vexation is presently known, but a prudent man conceals shame. He that utters truth shows forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. There is that speaks rashly like the piercing of a sword, but the tongue of the wise is health. The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of them that devise evil, but the counselors of peace is joy. There shall no mischief happen to the righteous, but the wicked shall be filled with evil. Lying lips are an abomination to Jehovah, but they that deal truly are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims foolishness. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be put under taskwork. Heaviness in the heart of a man makes it stoop, but a good word makes it glad. The righteous is a guide to his neighbor, but the way of the wicked causes them to err. The slothful man roasts not that which he took in hunting, but the precious substance of men is to the diligent. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death.
Wow. Well,
A lot of wisdom packed into there,
yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah. And what does it mean? So what are your thoughts, JJ, just to start off, and anyone else can come up?
Definitely.
I'm not hearing you, JJ.
There we go. Sorry about that. I think I'm back in.
Okay.
I thought this was another like really good proverb. There were a couple verses in there where I kind of had some trouble. Like when I read through it earlier today, I was like, what does that mean? What does this mean?
Yeah,
But
I agree.
like that one, like verse, but like verse 4, like what Patty mentioned earlier, man, that was one that really stood out to me. It's like a worthy woman is the crown of her husband. And I just thought, it just brought me back to Genesis and back to Hava or Eve, right? Being called, being created or fastened or whatever word we want to use for that. But as an Azer, right? Azer, as a helper, as a helping person. I can't remember all the good translations of that, but
Companion.
it's as a partner helper, And I was just like, when I read that, I was like, man, what's an amazing thing. And when you don't find that right person for you, and that's when you get part B of that,
right,
and things just don't work out. So that's just a reminder. I took it to find that right person.
Yeah.
And then later on there was the same thing about a husband. I can't. What verse was that?
Number 8? A man shall be commended according to his wisdom. But he that
a man shall.
Heart,
No, go ahead. Yeah, and that's the other, like. It seemed like it kind of went along with 4.
It did. It's like the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought that's the kind of thing that, when you read through these, you try to read it, and sometimes you just want to read it and get through it. But I feel like, between the Shabbat, Erev Shabbat, which is what we're doing today, and then the Saturday morning, Shabbat, and that's kind of caused me to start slowing down a little bit and reading a little slower.
Definitely.
Trying to parse out what I'm getting out of here, and
and reading it out loud too is helpful. Reading it out loud and hearing your own self say the words is a good thing.
Because then there's no way you say you can't read. There's no way you can say that you didn't read it.
You can't unread it.
Right. Oh, it's amazing. I mean,
yeah.
I really think it's a good thing that we're doing. Reading this and that you guys put this together.
Yeah.
It's really.
And
it's
a good thing. Yeah.
Really
and have other people. I want other people to come up and read. And we have other things we're going to be doing the Psalms and hopefully bringing back some music. One of the things I wanted to, is I kind of summarized it. The Proverbs really go on and on about the love of discipline and knowledge and understanding, and that there's the two ways. And the other thing is they don't like slothfulness, It's
sure.
And I do love the sloth. I've seen them, and they're amazing animals. But the laziness, it's a tough thing. I can say right here, Ralph's in his 80s, and he wrote another book, a second book. I mean, it takes a lot, but he's not stopping just because he's retired due
to a number of his age, and there's a lot of wisdom still to share.
And all of us, like Dr. Tabor also likes to keep writing. Betty has written a book.
James is coming out with his Mary book pretty soon.
Yeah, and Mary, the Mother of God. No, I'm sorry. I've got a lot of issues about that, but that's just me. But the other thing is that it's a lifelong pursuit, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And even when the chips are down, hopefully that wisdom will carry you through. And it's the thing that I really like about reading all these proverbs.
I have one comment to make if you're done there. One of the verses that stood out to me, because I'm an animal lover, it says, "The righteous man regards the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." And I have to say, going to Israel and the Middle East, they are not kind to animals in general out there, a lot of people.
No.
And it's just kind of heartbreaking to see how they treat livestock, camels, even cats, they're just, they're so, not only are they neglected, but they're abused.
Right.
And that is just, one thing that bothered me. I think our country, America, is very, well, except for, some instances of abuse, we love our animals and our pets, and we cherish them. And I didn't see a lot of that in native-born people there.
Yeah.
Did you agree? Do you agree with that, Dave?
Yes, I said yes.
So again.
It is pretty interesting to see those things. And the other thing that I like here was that about how the transgression of the lips is a snare to the evil man, but the righteous shall come out of trouble. You can get into a lot of trouble just by talking. And I think that's another thing that is important, or to be able to defend your position anyways, is what's important. I think we should all talk and should get our, we should get our issues out. And we have a lot of people that do that. As I said, I don't know how Ross does it with the after his lecture, his after discussion. It goes on sometimes for 3 hours. It's just amazing how he keeps up with it, and it's a lot of work.
It's such a wonderful thing, though, because we're all students and we're all teachers, and everyone has wisdom to share. And so I think it's just a wonderful thing that to do this. And even tonight, we want to hear anything and everything you all have to say.
Yeah, anyone else want to say anything about these proverbs? There's a lot of similar themes from the last time we read, but I feel personally I feel very good about reading these out loud. I think it was JJ who suggested it.
Hi, Ralph. Ralph is back.
Ralph, do
you want to try again, or?
Ralph's on YouTube, you mean?
Oh, he's here on YouTube, but
I don't see him in
Discord.
Here. I don't see him in Discord. But anyway,
I see him there.
Oh, is Ralph in there?
Yeah, I see him in the room.
Okay, maybe we could try it again because of the audio seems to be all the bugs worked out. If we want to try again.
Well, you say that, but we don't know
it. Seems.
It seems, yeah. Yeah, Ralph, if you're on Discord and you want to step up to talk, let me know. He needs headphones and to stop watching the YouTube stream. Oh, he was watching. Yeah, no, we did that. Remember the first day when the first time we did it, we had the YouTube running and the Discord and
it's looping.
And it would loop like 20 minutes later. I'd hear my voice talking. And I don't like to hear my own voice like many people. And then to hear it 20 minutes later.
He can talk again.
But he's got to, as Seth said, he's got to stop watching on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, you have to log on YouTube though.
Yeah.
We just have to mute it, I think.
Yeah, they don't like each other.
No, even the muting doesn't work. Believe me.
Oh, wow.
I was mashing so many buttons in the beginning, JJ.
Yeah.
It was, and I'm not exactly sure how that because I'm a systems person. I'm not exactly sure how that feedback happened.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Because if you mute it, it should cut it off, but it didn't.
Right.
And it could be another signal path in there that I'm not sure.
But if Ralph does come back up, we're looking forward to hearing about his book, which is on sale now on Amazon. If anybody has the link.
What's that?
Ralph's book.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like somebody posted the link somewhere earlier. I feel like earlier this week I saw the link is like in pre-release or something.
Yeah.
I'll try to find it while you guys talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess going back to the proverb, just while we're waiting. I mean, you just mentioned lips. I mean, so many times, like in this one, it talks about, like verse 19, the lip of truth shall be established forever. So it talks a lot about being true.
Yeah.
And just not, and avoiding the lying tongue, and avoiding the, being true and talking true, and and being true to being a true image bearer of God, as best as we can.
Yeah.
That's the thing that blesses us, and it's where we fall short, and let the evil one take over, and that's where our downfall is.
Yeah.
The way of the people. So
yeah. I saw a meme today that I won't say the whole meme, but it said, in my brain, do not respond to this person. It's not worth it. It's not that big of a deal. Move on. And then it says me, or my mouth, and then it had some expletives. So you're thinking not to say something because you're going to be stoic. Then all of a sudden, your mouth comes out, and it really lasts.
That was me. Sorry, I'm posting the link to Ralph's book here on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to send it to you, and you can post it up there.
Sure. So I'm sorry that I see that Ellie Sheba wants to speak, and Ralph is not asking to speak. So we're going to get Betty up here also. But stay there, JJ.
Yeah, I will. I'm just going to mute.
Yeah, stay there, JJ. Don't leave me up here by myself.
Yeah.
Please.
I would never.
Hey, wait a minute. Betty's always got one more thing, and it's one more things.
Well, I do, but I'm not going to say the second thing right now because it's too emotional. But the thing I can say is about our words.
Okay.
And that is that I know you all know that our words go out and vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
They go out, and they're very, very important. And I think we need to be very careful about the words that we say.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have heard the parable. It's a very old thing. The rabbis used to tell the story about this lady. Of course, this is gossiping, but it's kind of in here too. Saying words of deceit. That you talk and you talk and you talk and you say all these things, and then I think a rabbi or somebody came up to her. She was really sorry and she wanted to take her words back. And so he said, well, what I want you to do is I want you to take a feather pillow, go to the top of a hill, cut it open. So all the feathers went out. And he says, okay, now go get the feathers.
Yeah.
Well, we can't retract our words, and that's why it is so important to have goodly words. Anyway, I used to love that story.
Betty, let me say this. I was given that story as a parable in second grade by my teacher, Mrs. John.
Very good.
You know how long ago that was? Because I'm a senior citizen now.
Well, yeah, that would be, yeah.
I was going to say, in second grade, I was probably 7, so 60 years ago. and she gave us that story back then.
Wow.
You know, and because I think there was gossip going around the class, you know. And how do you take that? How do you take that back? Or it's like when someone gets accused in the paper, right? Someone gets accused in the paper of a heinous crime, and then they're found not guilty. Well, everyone remembers that they were arrested for the crime, you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so anyways,
Right.
it's hard to take it back. It's like you say, hard to take it back.
It is. And one of the reasons I love that story is when Roger was not sick, he did quite a bit of teaching, and that was one of his favorite stories that he would always tell. And he was a great storyteller. I kind of hem and haw and whatever, but he was actually a disc jockey for Christian radio for a while because his voice was so smooth. So anyway,
Wow.
That's beautiful.
just a little side story.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always good to remember our people like that. You know, in terms of those kinds of stories that we all had.
Right.
And it's
But
When we,
voice
yeah.
makes
when
a
we
difference.
remember them, we honor them, and they live on in us. And I just think that is so important.
Yeah.
So
Well, Betty, are you going to give us the emotional one, or are you going to wait for some? Maybe we can talk later. I don't want to push you off in the deep.
no, well, this Clodie and I were having this conversation today because she called me and asked me how I was doing.
Oh.
And I don't know how well you guys know Clodie, but you can't get anything by her. And she knew that something was up with me. And so, right, Clodie? I don't see your face, but I know you do.
Clodie.
Anyway, so I just said that it seems like, and so many parts of the world, everybody is just ignoring the horrific things that went on in Israel.
Oh, yes.
With two little redheaded babies.
Even worse than we imagined.
Yes, just horrific.
And, you know, one friend whom I love very much, when I mentioned something, said, well, you have to have faith. Well, it's not like I don't have faith. I do have faith.
Right.
And it's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of allowing myself to cry because God gave us tears and to grieve.
Yeah.
For these little guys and for their dad, bless his heart. He doesn't even know where his wife is. And his
she
two
could
little
be sitting
babies.
there- she could be alive wondering how her babies are, not even knowing
Right.
that they're no longer with us. I mean, it's torment to this family.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, I couldn't stand it anymore. And so I put something on Discord, and I don't even think I put it on the right channel. I just opened it up and started writing.
You let him have it. Let him have it. That's good. All
Yeah,
right.
well, I wasn't wanting anybody to wasn't trying to let them have it. I was just saying grief is a part of life, and we need to allow ourselves to grieve. If we don't, it's going to go
Amen.
way down, stuffed inside
Amen.
us, and come out as stress and sickness.
And I think the faith is the fact that we get through it. We get the strength to get through it, not that we avoid it or don't experience it.
I agree.
The other,
so that's great.
so supposedly, because in my writing for my book, supposedly Queen Elizabeth, and I'm trying to vet all of these quotes because there's a lot of fake quotes out there.
misattributed quotes.
But someone said, anyways, the extent of your grief is equal to the love that you had for that person. And
Yeah.
if you
That's
love
so
someone
true.
deeply, you're going to grieve deeply. And you can't, it's like, no, you can't get around this. You have to breathe air. You're going to have to grieve. And, you know, as a lot of us here know, there's a difference between sorrow and grief. You know, grief is absolutely worse and horrible. And I really never knew it till, you know, later in my life. And my point is that with the grieving is if you don't grieve, you can kill yourself.
Well, sorrow, I think, can be comforted.
Yeah.
Sorrow can be, you can
Right.
Yeah.
comfort someone who's sorrowing, but grief is different, like Dave said. I agree.
Yeah. Horrible. Okay.
Horrible. But too, okay, here's the one more thing. Okay, so don't laugh.
Okay.
I love that.
Oh,
We're on
Patty,
schedule.
you're laughing. No, see, I'm trying to be positive and let go of my tears. I cried all day, so I think my eyes are dry right now.
Aw.
What I want to say is that I think anybody that's on Facebook may have seen the post by Hillel Folt, whose brother Ari was
Oh, yeah. I remember Ari.
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he had an incredible post. I copied it and put it on my Facebook page. I shared it because what he said was, and it made me think that even in the face of all this horrific stuff, if we look, somewhere there's good going on.
Mhm.
It may not necessarily in that.
Mhm.
But he posted a post and he said something about all the miracles that Hashem had done since October 7th. Just so many things, like the thing with all the phones going off at once and all this kind of business. But last night, an attempt to do a second October 7th was attempted by Hamas. They blew up a bus, and nobody was on it. An astute observer felt like or saw something weird. And then it was more than one, it was several. And the plan was to have these buses blow up and the light rail and all this kind of stuff and have it all happen at once and just completely draw everything back into chaos and start raping and murdering and everything just like they did.
Yeah.
But it was spoiled. And afterwards, Hillel Folt said he looked up and there was actually a rainbow over the bus. And the rainbow is, as you know, it's a sign of hope. I've loved rainbows all my life. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
But I just have. So,
Someone tried to steal them from us, but we won't let that happen.
well, I don't think God's going to let it happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway, in the midst of sorrow, we do have faith.
Yeah.
And we love our God. And so, anyway, and you don't see my face, but I'm not crying. I'm better. Thank you.
All right. All right, buddy. Shabbat shalom.
Feels
We're gonna
better
get
to get it out.
Sue. We're gonna get Sue up there.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay.
Sue, hopefully I get your. There we go.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Sue.
Wonderful to see everybody.
Yeah.
I wanted to agree with Betty and Patty and you, Dave, about grief. On the 17th of this month, just a few days ago,
Yeah.
was the 3-year anniversary of the loss of my husband.
Yeah.
And that grief doesn't go away. I know you're
It's
familiar
powerful.
with that.
It's a powerful
And
force.
I remember when he first passed away, I remember telling my sister-in-law, it physically hurts.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I never knew that grief could literally
Yeah.
hurt your body. It
Yeah.
hurts. It just tears at you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it still will if I let it really go. But
Oh, yeah.
I just want to encourage people, if you're grieving for some reason, don't apologize. Just
Right.
let your grief go and experience it, because
Yeah.
that's the only healing that you're going to get.
I think that's very true. So another thing about grief is I try to tell people it's like a tsunami in the beginning. Then slowly, the waves come less and less, but they're still there. And you could go down that hole anytime you want. If I was an actor, which I'm not, that's how I would call tears to my eyes. I would just start thinking about those things, and I could cry in a minute. But I don't. I'm not an actor, so thank God.
That's a fact. That's the fact.
The other thing I wanted to share was I loved Betty's little parable, and I heard one that was similar, but has a little bit different emphasis. A few years ago, I was talking with a dearly beloved relative, and I said something without any intention. I had no intention of hurting or offending, but I did. And I offended the person very deeply, really injured them. And I remember at the time thinking, well, I didn't mean to hurt you. Why can't you slough it off? But Hashem was listening in. And so a couple days later, there was this little parable that was brought to my attention. This young man is out with his grandpa, and they're repairing a barbed wire fence out on the prairie. And the young man's complaining to his grandpa that somebody got upset with him, and, well, what's the big deal? And grandpa says, okay, well, take this hammer and these nails and go over and put those nails in that post over there. And it's like, well, answer me. And grandpa says, just go put the nails in the post. They come back the next day, and grandpa says, okay, take the nails out of that post now. And the kid's totally bewildered. He takes them out, and grandpa says, so what do you see? Holes in the post. And grandpa says, that's right. You didn't mean to hurt that post, but those words they're leaving scars.
It's the same, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't get rid of those scars. They're there. They're never going to go away.
No.
The person might forgive, and they might try to forget, but those scars will never go away. And that really taught me a lesson to watch my words.
Mm-hmm. It's hard when emotions get in the way, though, sometimes, and the passion of the moment.
Amen, brothers. Say it again.
Or when you unfortunately are in the wartime scenario. You're just doing what you do. Come on, baby. Here he is.
Yeah. And you figure we people have been through things like we've been through. It should know better, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
But it's still, everyone takes it different, so.
Tubon or something.
And Betty, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that bus thing all day. That was how we went from Aqaba to Jerusalem. We went a minimum of 3 times a year, and often more often than that. And we would always take the bus. So I know that bus station real well. I can still smell it. And, when I read what happened, wow, I shed some tears too. That was just so ugly and gratuitous cruelty. And it made me think of, how the Jews berate themselves that they were driven from Jerusalem because of baseless hatred. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing all this baseless hatred being directed at them. And it just tears you up.
Yeah.
So that was being, and I'll go away now. I love you guys. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's some echoes going on in there.
Yeah, there's a little echo going on again. We're having some difficulties tonight, but I think we're getting through it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
The other thing that I'm writing about right now, and it's really causing me a lot of contemplation. And that is, there was this Christian thought, because I came out of Christianity. There was this Christian thought that, hey, when you go to heaven, whatever that means, you're going to meet your You're going to meet your the people you miss, you know. And the Hebrew Bible doesn't say a lot about that. And what I mean is, and I was focused just on the Hebrew Bible and what does it say about these things. And it's hard for me not to have the Christian, you know, impact, the Greco-Roman, you know,
Heaven and hell view.
heaven and hell, and
Yeah.
you know. And so what does really happen? And I think maybe the answer is we don't know what happens in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know how could I miss these people for eternity. I mean, eternity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I try to. David Horowitz, who started the United Israel World Union, he said you have to get away from the Greco-Roman influence, which is in Judaism and Christianity. And it's a tough thing to do because it's just how we kind of live and think, and we were brought up, and, you know, it's a similar thing today. If you look at what are the moral standards that people today have, I mean, in general, not your family, but in general, and they're not, before they at least went to church and had some sort of religious faith, and now there's none of that, and so it's a different vibe, and you cannot talk to people as if they had a faith and went to church, kind of thing. So anyways, there's
a verse that this reminds me of I'd like to read.
Yeah.
It says, the secret things belong to Jehovah our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all words.
well, okay, Patty.
Yeah, I like that. The secret things belong to God, and some things we're just not going to know right now.
Yeah. I agree, Eric. EJ is saying unlearning is much harder than learning.
That is in Deuteronomy, by the way.
What Eric said?
No, what I just said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the point that I would like also quickly make is that they, we might not ever know certain things, and that's just, we're going to have to accept that. I'm not.
And part of that I think is a struggle too is when, you know, the people who, you know, share love for your loved one that you lost.
Yeah.
Or that I lost, or that several of us here had lost, you know, they still have a lot of that thinking, right? They still have a lot of that mindset. So where I may be not, I'm comfortable and I don't know exactly what happens, right? And like you mentioned earlier, we may never know, right? We'll know, we may know one day, right? But it's the struggle is how to talk to those, you know, those people and be caring, because we all share a loved one, right?
Yeah.
And we want to, you know, and a lot of people want to believe that that's what happens, because it's a great story. It's a great thing to think. It's a great story, you know, and it may or may not be true. I don't know. And I don't want to hurt anyone. Right.
It's just comforting to some people.
Right. Yeah. And it is comforting.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. And,
right.
You know, and I'll keep studying. I'll keep learning. I'll keep collaborating with the group we got here and with other groups I have. And maybe one day I'll figure out the truth. So.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
I see that Clody wants to speak. Hang on for a minute there, Jay. We got to get Clody.
Thank you for that, JJ.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Clody. There's Clody.
Hey, Clody.
Hi. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to touch a little bit on what we were talking with Betty earlier during this day and actually some days ago. We were talking about how it's important to share how we feel.
Yeah.
because sometimes we tend to isolate ourselves, and we think that nobody understands, or people have other things that care for, so they won't have any time for us. So there are so many motives that make us silence.
Yeah.
And I think that what's important is for us to share what we think that is important, even in a personal level,
Yeah.
and especially in a global level.
Mm.
I mean, when we are talking about the love of God and how God's plans are for peace and for love all over the world, I think that when we encounter something like what happened to these two kids, the 7th of October, or many other events, I think that we should be able to talk with each other and try to understand what is happening in a global scale. I mean, hatred is, as I was thinking today, that it's weird how humanity is still in child phase. Why am I saying that? As we are children, when we are children, we want to play a lot and we want to entertain ourselves. But as we grow older, we understand that we have to educate ourselves and to make ourselves wiser so that we can have a good job and have good prospects for our lives and so on. And that's the second level childhood, I would name it. I hope you understand my English, really, because it's a little bit complicated as a thought. So this is a second grade childhood, because the real wisdom, the true wisdom, has nothing to do with our achievements as adults, has nothing to do with how much money we make, has nothing to do in which powerful or powerless country we live in. It has everything to do with our inner self or soul, in regards to God. It has to do everything to do with our relationship with the beyond this life and with God. So I think that humanity is trapped in the second childhood. We still are fighting for things that are not durable, do not endure time, and that are gonna degrade very soon. And I think that patriotism, being a patriot, and I'm talking here about the hatred in between nations, I think it's one of the most childish things.
Yeah.
I think that people have to love each other beyond nation, beyond religion, beyond race. And what I was thinking also was a very beautiful podcast that Ross K. Nichols did with Beyond Doubt Theology. I don't know if you have seen it,
No, I've
but
seen it.
I think that 3 hours and something podcast program between Ross, who has Western Judeo-Christian education, And this program in between Ross and a Muslim guy
I saw that.
Yeah.
makes us understand how and where the key to peace is.
Yes.
The key to peace is going back to the love of God, going back out of religion to the 10 words. And even if we don't have those 10 words, we have to go inside ourselves and we have to really deepen the contact of our logic, of our thoughts with our souls, with how we feel. And we have to really embed this. I mean, we have everybody can change the world from where he or she is. We have to really talk about those 10 words with everybody. We have to talk about how this hatred of nations, of countries in between them can vanish, can evaporate altogether if we go back to the 10. If we do not hang on being part of groups. Yeah, these were my
Okay.
thoughts.
I wanna respond to some of that because there's a little naivete in my opinion in your view. It is true what you say. However, there were people that are trying to kill every Jew in World War II. And for us just to say, well, let's all just focus on the 10, there would have been a lot more Jews killed. There are countries today that have so to say that you can't have borders and that you can't have patriotism. I think that's a bit much for me to swallow, given what I've seen in my life. When I go to the West Bank, what I saw, when I have been in Gaza, I don't hate those people, and I don't want to say great for Israel and great for U.S. They're my brothers, but they're in no way going to get into the ideas that you think that would take.
No, don't get me wrong. I know that this will take too much time.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that this is the light in the end of the tunnel, and we have to stay focused in that. I know that we are not. I know that we are not in that moment of the human history. Don't get me wrong. I know that people that have been raped, or people that have somebody has been killed, murdered, will be always traumatized. I mean, these two little children from today's and yesterday's news are triggering our trauma of the 7th October.
Yeah.
Part of which we were never, I mean, directly.
Correct.
Sticky has a point there. It's not like we were personally affected, at least not me, affected from whatever happened on the 7th of October, but it was a trauma.
Yeah.
So I know what you are. I know that this is not the moment. No.
Right.
But we have to keep the recipe. Otherwise, the recipe will disappear.
Yeah.
And the later generations that will be less traumatized will not know how to find the recipe.
Yes.
Well, if they have the recipe, that's all. It's just having the formula. That's all. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not being naive. Yeah, you're right about that. It's a little bit idealism. It's idealistic to believe that things are.
Pacifists say if we all just this is a true statement, and I agree with this. If we all just put down our weapons and didn't fight one another, there would be no war. And but there are people and major groups of people that don't want to do that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I in my class in when I was in college, I had a Kosovo guy that saw his sister raped and murdered, and his sister was expecting a baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Who?
So, and that happened from Serbian soldiers.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Don't get me wrong. I do not know if Albanian soldiers have done the same, but they might have done it.
Sure.
I'm not taking part here. But I know that this guy that was in my class, the brother of the victim, he was all for killing all Serbia. He hated all Serbs, everybody.
Right.
He knew in his logic mind that not everybody was a bad person, but his hatred was he was traumatized.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The problem with this kind of events, with this kind of attacks, is that these attacks put stains on the new generation.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's a big problem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I really think that we should talk about this. I really think that we should talk about this.
Well, like I say, I'm not going to just say, just think this way and the world will be a better place. It will. Everyone has a responsibility to follow the 10 and to do what's right. Absolutely. But there's also, I believe we have the right to defend ourselves. It's just how I see it. And especially when there's some big groups of bad people, like the Nazis were and others.
I agree.
They and I don't hate all Muslims. I mean, the Muslims that work for me, and I love them. They got PhDs and blah blah blah. But it's so I thought Iran was a beautiful place. It was Persia. There were brilliant people there, and so I don't hate Iranians, but I do not like what the leaders are doing, and I know there's a lot of Iranian people that would wish that they could change things, like they used to wear normal dresses and listen to music, and it was a beautiful time, and then the religion came in and it ruined everything. So I don't, personally, I think every culture has beautiful things that come out of it, foods, music, plays.
Not when women are lesser people. So
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
I just can't. When you see in the West Bank that women are treated like cattle, it is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable, and that's people doing that. It's not everybody, but I see that. Well, I got some other people coming up here, Clody, but hopefully,
Thank you.
We appreciate you bringing up these ideas, and I definitely agree with you. If we have that mantra, it won't get lost on the new generations.
Exactly.
Oh,
Thank you.
All right, Julia and Betty. Betty, I'm going to let Julia go first because she was up before and went down, and then I'll get you right next. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. I did not know that you also lost a child, so I want to say, unfortunately, we kind of know how you feel, and I just hope that you are that the Almighty helps you in your time, because
I can tell you that He does. I can tell you now that it is way more joy than grief, because the thought that I had was, hands down, I would rather have had her the 30 years I had her than not have her at all.
Amen.
And so anytime that I might want to feel sad, it's like I can't, because God let me have her for 30 years. I mean, the joy that I had her, and it's sad that I don't get to have things happen with her in the present,
Right.
but I have the memories, and the
Yeah, man.
memories
Amen.
fill me with joy.
Yeah.
The reason why you grieve is because you love them so much,
Right.
and I know that she would not want me to only feel sadness.
Yeah.
Knowing that, and knowing that God let me have her for 30 years, hands down, I can't. I can't.
Right.
Because she was such a joy and such a light, I can't. It
Yeah.
may come with some grief, but it's just so much joy. I want to laugh because I got to have her,
Yeah.
Right, right.
and I can't because she was amazing. So I can't.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to say, and I'll make this part quick about what Clody was saying.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think that is the disadvantage is in all of these places where all of these things happen and there are groups that do these horrendous things,
Yes.
you never get to know about the people who are not like that.
Amen.
And that is what gets lost in all of this. You
Sure.
don't get to know the gentle, loving souls of
Right.
somebody who's Serbian, of
Right.
someone Iranian. You don't get to know that. And that is also one of the worst things ever. Because you know they're there, but
Yeah.
with such a broad brush,
Yeah.
it's brushed over because of the large amount of hate.
I know. And
And their
it's
voices are suppressed. And
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so
And
true.
Yeah.
That's so
and-
true, Julia.
And what Clody said, it doesn't make it less true. The simple fact is, if we could just put them down, if everyone did it, we'd have no problem. They
Right.
just aren't.
Right.
And it's a lovely goal to look at and say, if only we could. And right now we can't. We're nowhere near that place, but oh, what a lovely goal it would be.
But it's
Yeah.
the ideal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Strive
Yeah.
for.
yeah.
Someday.
That's all I had.
No, that's a lot. You say, "Oh, that's a lot," there,
Yeah,
Julia.
that's a lot, Julia. Thank you for sharing that.
And anytime you like to share about your daughter, we feel the same way. Our son was
Yeah.
34 years old, and
Yeah.
we had him for 34 years, and I remember the funny
Yeah.
stuff. You know, he thought he understood politics, but he had no idea about politics.
Right.
He would make jokes, and I would just laugh, and I didn't even correct him. You know, and I don't know. We had a lot of good times together, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of joy, and
Yeah.
and
I mean,
and you
it's
hope-
sad because you just assume you won't see your children go before you.
right.
And sometimes that happens. And
It does,
Right.
and it ain't
It's out
the
of
way it's
sync
supposed
with
to
the
be.
cycle.
right,
Yeah.
right.
It's not the Ross spoke at our son's celebration of life, and he said, if you lose your parents, you're an orphan. If you lose your
Yeah.
spouse, you're a widower. What do you
Yeah.
call a parent who loses their child? There's a name.
Right.
But
Right.
we're not going to bring it up, but no one knows it because it's so
Right.
unusual.
Yes.
They don't
It's
happen.
not a common
Yeah.
And,
household name.
anyways, it's just so nice to hear you
Yes.
tonight, Julia.
Yes,
Thank you.
Julia, thank you.
And Seth, tell your daddy, stay in the bed if he does not feel well.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he'll try to get up and do something and it'll knock him back on his backside. Tell him,
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
needs the rest, get the rest.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. He can show an older class or something or rerun
Yeah.
something and
Yeah.
we'll love
Yeah.
it. And,
But I do know that Ross did prepare for tomorrow's class.
Yes.
I
Like
know.
it wasn't
I
like
know.
he was going to let that go. And
I know.
we just we love him, and
yeah.
it's when I had that when I had the virus, I don't know what it was, but I then like a week after I was good, I tried to do my normal exercise, and I'm like, I couldn't push
Nope.
100 pounds on the barbell. I'm like, what did it just
Your body is still trying to. You feel better, but your body's still trying to get
Fix
stuff
what's
back
went
to normal.
wrong.
That's
And it's
right.
And then you overdo it and
Yeah.
cause
Yes.
relapse.
you caused the
Yeah.
relapse, and then and it is what it is. But anyways,
All right.
I'm gonna let Betty up here. Thank you,
Thank
Julie.
you.
Julie, have a good night.
All right.
Shabbat shalom. Is it not coming? There you go. Let's see if that got you. Betty,
Me did it.
you're there.
There you are.
Hey,
It got
Betty.
me. Yay. Oh, this is just really quick. I wanted to Julia, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know that about you and about your daughter. Anyway, the other thing is I want to respond to what you were saying, Dave, about Iran when it used to be Persia. At the end of my junior year in high school, my dad, who was in the service, brought a map home. And so we knew we were moving. And I was really upset because I loved my high school and didn't want to leave in my beginning of my senior year. So we said, Daddy, where are we going? So he took this world map out, laid it out on the table, and pointed to Tehran, Iran.
Wow.
So that's where we went. And I will tell you that we fell in love with the Iranian people.
Yes.
All of the Americans at that time were loved. We all had to have drivers for our own safety, because people would run out in front of the car if it was an American driving, just to get some money, you know.
Yeah.
So we had drivers. Well, our driver saved my sister's life when she jumped into a pool. He jumped in with all of his clothes and his boots and everything. And then we had a maid who lived with us, who lived in our home. And she was wonderful. She became a part of our family.
Wow.
So it's not the Iranian people that are evil.
Right. Right.
It's it's their government.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just wanted to say that because I will never forget my time there.
What an experience.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
How long were you there, Betty?
How long?
Yeah.
The first half of my senior year. And then we found out that the school I was going to, which was it was like a Presbyterian missionary school in the center of Tehran, because that was the only school for Americans. But we found out it would not be accredited as, a reliable high school to graduate from, and I wanted to go to college. So in the middle of my senior year, my mom and dad did some research and found out that there was a school outside Paris, France, which was on an American air base, and so I went there. And then I went there and graduated from there. It was Drew American High School.
Wow.
And anyway, guess where we went on our senior trip?
That is
We
so
went to
cool.
Paris.
Hey.
Dinner on a riverboat. So
Wow.
it didn't turn out all bad.
No, you've gotten a great. No, you've gotten
Some good experience.
you and James and James taking those Bibles into Russia,
Oh yeah.
driving through Ukraine, and
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
he looked like Buddy Holly. He was a good-looking young man, James.
Oh,
David.
he did look like Buddy Holly. Everybody teased him.
Yeah.
And you're very beautiful too, Miss Betty.
Wow.
Well, you're such a sweet friend, Patty. Thank you.
You know, when people are nice, they look better. I don't know how to say it. You know, it's like if you're sweet and talking nice to somebody, it just looks more pleasant, you know. Whereas when a beautiful person is just
Nasty.
yelling and nasty, it makes them look uglier. It's
Right.
that's just me.
It's the beauty of the soul.
Right, the soul comes out.
Yes.
Definitely. And you're beautiful inside and out.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
like our dog when she gets groomed.
Yeah,
we like
Oh.
it looks better.
I thought, Dave, I'm laughing. I thought you said you're like our dog when she gets
Oh, no.
rude. I
No.
thought you said you.
No, we like Molly.
We like Molly when she's all prim and proper and has been,
Yeah,
you know,
I see her
Both in
picture.
and she's been trimmed up and she looks beautiful
Yeah, no, we love her all
yeah,
the time.
but when she's all got
Gussie Dub.
when she has all that grime in her face and
Yeah,
her,
yeah.
you know, and she
You don't want to kiss them.
yeah, now she's beautiful. Now she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
Well,
Well, if no one else wants to talk, and if they do, it's fine. But I have a very funny story
Okay.
of a trick that James played on me when we were in Iran.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, we had 2 stories to our home, and the third story was the little apartment where our maid lived, and then there was the rooftop. So one day James said, Betty, I want you to come on up here on the roof. I want to show you something. So I came on the roof with him, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden, the door opened, and it was this Iranian guy. And he said, Betty, this is my friend, whatever, Abdul or whatever. He really wants to meet you. And here I am on the roof, okay? And all of a sudden, this guy starts singing to me in Persian.
Huh?
And he's getting closer and closer, and I'm backing up, and then I'm at the edge of the roof.
Oh my gosh.
But I think James finally saved me, but I'm not going to say I'll never forgive
What
him.
was he singing?
Oh, I have no idea. It was in.
He was saying he loved you. It was amore.
It was in
something.
Amore.
It was in Farsi, and he was singing it like with all his heart and all his might and smiling real big, and it was just making me so nervous. I mean, there's no way I wanted to have anything to do with this guy, even if he was cute. So, anyway.
Oh, that's great. That's a good one. I know it's good.
We had a friend like that, Betty, and he liked to give these full body hugs, and that was really disturbing.
Well,
Well,
he was an old man, and he was a Catholic priest at one time.
Jesuit,
so
right?
Jesuit. So there
Yeah.
you go. That tells you half the story right there.
And he
Well,
thought he
I was afraid if I got too close, the full body hug would come
Yeah.
next. And so somehow I kind of
you got out
maneuvered
just
my
in
way
time.
around him and ran out the door.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
thank you for that. That gives us a little humor for the end of our
Yeah.
We
No.
need-
gathering here.
yeah.
A little
yeah.
humor is helpful.
And James can be funny when he wants to be.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes. He can also be a stinker.
Yeah. Well, we knew that a long time ago.
No.
But I won't tell any of those stories.
No,
I
hey.
really.
You know, you are
That
you
was-
have you've been in, you were there. You were his sister, his
Yeah.
older sister.
That's
Yeah.
true. His older.
It's your
Yes.
parents.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
Thank you, Miss
thank you,
Betty.
Miss Betty. And,
You're
and we
welcome.
appreciate you coming. We're gonna
We're going to sign off now.
sign off in our final prayer, and we're praying for Ross and anyone else who needs praying. It's not just Ross. Everyone. There's other people that need help, and
Yes.
and so we go to the Book of Numbers. Jehovah bless you and keep you. Jehovah make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. Jehovah turn his face towards you and give you peace.
Amen and amen.
Shalom, Shabbat,
Amen.
shalom. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Yes. Lila Tov.
We'll
good
see what
night.
happens
Love
tomorrow
y'all.
morning.
See you
Thank you so
tomorrow.
much. Bye-bye.